Hello, Rod Ovitt here with another Take 5, something we do every Monday through Saturday on our Facebook page for Rod Ovitt and for Logos Institute of Biblical Studies. So glad many of you share these with others. I'd encourage you to do so. It spreads the word around. It helps these things to get into other people's lives and to encourage them, to move them along. We really love this ministry, and every time you hit that share button, it really just expands it and allows God to use His Word in such an effective way, way beyond your own ability to get to people. Just a push of a button. Isn't that marvelous? It's so awesome. So please do so today. We'd really appreciate it, and it's your way of communicating to others the love of God. Now, yesterday we started a little 2-day series on the place and ability and power of the Holy Spirit, what it is that He does in our lives and how He comes within us and animates us and makes us alive and works with us to help push us along to a successful life, to do and fulfill those things that God would have us do. And we looked at an example of Saul in the Old Testament and how it was a foreshadowing of the way the Holy Spirit works and desires to work in us as believers today. We read in 1 Samuel 10:6 and 7, "The Spirit of the Lord will come upon you in power, and you will prophesy with them, and you will be changed into a different person. Once these signs are fulfilled, do whatever your hand finds you to do, for God is with you." And I love the way it says you're changed into a different person. And where have we heard that in the New Testament? We're told that all things have become new. We're told that we renew our minds, and that we are to have the mind that Christ had within us. Types of New Testament language that talks about renovating and creating a new spirit within us. And that is all orchestrated and done by God's Holy Spirit. We call it the Hagios Pneuma in the New Testament. In the Old Testament, it was known as Ruach. So even to Saul at this moment in his life, God would come as the Holy Spirit and indwell his heart and help him to be successful and to move him along. And the key word there was shalach. And shalach means to rush, to break forth, to come mightily. It had that sense of persons breaking out, of rushing forward in battle. It was used to denote the help needed to prosper, to succeed, and to be victorious. And we see that as the Holy Spirit's function in our lives as New Testament believers. And I wanted to look at something else today in John 4:24. God is spirit, and His worshipers must worship in spirit and in truth. And of course, those are the words Jesus spoke to the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman. And I'm so glad that we were able to get that recorded, that seemingly small chat that He had with this lady of perhaps ill repute, this lady that seemingly is insignificant, and yet God stops purposely and just invades her life with His love, and she spreads it to others throughout Samaria. And we have that story to this very day, and how it encourages us that God knows us, loves us in spite of ourselves, and moves us along. And this very unique verse where Jesus is announcing to all the world through this lady that things are changing, that now and from now on, true worshipers will worship God in spirit and in truth. There's a locative end there, in spirit and in truth. And it's very interesting that we move into this new realm of existence, this new realm of the Holy Spirit, and our lives are enveloped and surrounded by Him, and He invades our life. The very God of the universe, via His Spirit, lives and indwells our heart. And it's in that sphere of the Spirit which is now our authentic reality, and that's the definition of truth. So what He is saying is that we will worship in spirit and therefore in truth, the authentic reality. And we're told later in Romans 8:15 and 16, "For you did not receive a spirit that makes you a slave again to fear, but you received the spirit of sonship. And by him we cry, Abba, Father." The Spirit himself testifies with our spirits that we are God's children. So the Holy Spirit is to confirm in our hearts that we are children of God. And when Jesus was leaving, he said, "Look, I will be replaced by another comforter, a paraclete, one that will come alongside you, will get your back, will work with you on the field of battle, just like the Roman soldier, the paraclete." And we can live in exciting times by recognizing that fact, acknowledging it, and praying to God that his Holy Spirit would do great things with us. He can do those things with you today. He can do it at work. He can do it at home. He can do it at the grocery store. The Holy Spirit wants to dwell within us. Let him. Ask him to do all that he can do. And you watch God work. You do this, and certainly we have great days in store.